Old Alabama Gardener here. In this video, I'm talking about an important test that you might want to have done to help you with your health. Now, normally I would start this video out a little bit different. I'd probably have this chart that you're looking at now toward the end. But I'm trying to get your attention to show you how important what I'm talking about really is for you. Then you see where I say it could save your life. Knowing the results of this test that I'm talking about could save your life. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the test, and I've already told you how important it is that you get it. And then I'm going to show you the results of my most recent test. The CIMT, or Carotid Artery Intima Media Thickness Test, is an ultrasound test of the arteries in your neck. And the buildup of calcium in those arteries is also the same as the buildup of calcium in the arteries around your heart. So I'm going to talk just a little bit more about why this test is so important. See, if you get this test, it's going to tell you some results that may help you to make some lifestyle changes. And although I've already said it will save your life, you may wonder how it's going to do that. And the answer is, it's going to tell you your risk of having a heart attack. And if your risk is high, and you need to make those changes before it's too late. And what I mean by changes, I basically mean eating, what you eat and how you eat, your eating habits. Before it's too late. You know what before it's too late means, don't you? It means before they put you in the ground. Then it's too late to make any changes. Now right there where I have the arrow, it says 64. That means that my arteries are as healthy as a healthy average 64-year-old person, even though I am 81 years old. Now the early event risk indicator is just that. It's a risk of how likely you are to have a heart attack or require a stent in the next few years. So the lower that risk number is, the better off you are. Now this average CCA is an important little measurement because it's monitoring how well you're not building up a soft plaque. So you want to keep the soft plaque down. Hard plaque is not that bad. It's not worrisome. You're going to have some. In both the CCA mean and the CCA max, my numbers have decreased. Small amount, yes, but they are decreasing. And so if I can keep it going that way, then I may reach the goal. It's much better than if they were going up. Now these numbers here are a measure of the amount of plaque buildup in your arteries. And what you want to have, well, first of all, you don't want any plaque. But most people, by the time they're 30 years old, they're already developing plaque, sometimes much earlier than that. And so what you want to have is hard plaque and not soft plaque. The soft plaque is the kind of plaque that ruptures and causes instant heart attacks. So you don't want that. So the good news for me is that from the last test I had to now, I have actually converted something that was before soft plaque. I have now converted it into hard plaque. So that's much more stable and it's less risk of having a heart attack. So now let's talk about how you get a CIMT. And the answer is you call the company. Their name is Cardio Risk. You call them. They're located in Utah. Call them up, and either Heidi or one of the two girls that works there will answer the phone, and you'll be able to discuss with them where you can get this test. It's not done at just any old doctor's office. You have to go to certain places to have it done. Now this test that I'm talking about, it's called a carotid artery intima media thickness test. So the carotid arteries are these two arteries that's here in your neck, large arteries that really take blood up and onto all your facial areas and all the way up into your brain. So that's it, carotid artery intima test. Okay, the intima means the inner layers or the inner lining of this test. Now there's an inner lining and an outer sheath or more strong covering of the artery. And so we're really talking about that area between the outer tough lining or layer and that little smooth inside layer. So that distance in there, obviously it's very, very small, but that distance in there is what we're measuring. How thick is it? And not only how thick is it, but what kind of plaque is building up in there. There's two kinds of plaque. There's hard plaque, like calcium, and it really doesn't cause a great deal of problems. And then there's a soft plaque, and it's more like a hot liquid, and that is what causes heart attacks and kills people. So that's called hot plaque or soft plaque, which however you want to discuss it. Now, so what's important about this is that what's going on up here in these carotid arteries up here, whatever kind of plaque buildup that you have going on there, it's also going to be building up the same way in the arteries around your heart. So that makes this up here a nice way to look with an ultrasound at what's going on and get you an indication of what's going on down here in your heart. Because obviously you can't ultrasound your heart. The only other way to do that is to run a catheter up through your big artery in your leg all the way to your heart. There's a certain amount of risk associated with that, and you don't want to do that, not if you can avoid it. So this is a good way to get a measurement on what's going on in your arteries. I really, really highly recommend that you do this test, if for no other reason that to create a baseline. Let's say you're 50 years old or 40 years old, and you do this test, well, then you have created a baseline. So if you don't do the test for another 10 years, then when you do it again, you'll have another test to measure it against to see whether you're getting better, staying the same, or getting worse. So what is my plan? Well, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm making progress. I got all my numbers going in the right direction. I'm feeling good every day, working outside in the garden. And then in about 6 months or possibly a year, I'm going to have another CIMT done. And the reason I do that is because I'm looking for a trend. Trends in the direction of having better health. Less risk of a heart attack. That's what I want. And I sure do appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to reach a major goal of 100,000 subscribers, and I need a few more. So I thank you very much for subscribing.